Steve Hinnefeld is the main blogger for In School Matters, which covers education policy in Indiana. As a former Herald Times reporter and parent, his understanding of this topic weekly informs citizens living in the city.
Sort of got really interested in schools and had kind of never gotten over wanting to write about schools. And it just felt like around that time there was a lot going on. We just both had this feeling that there were stories that weren't being written about education in Bloomington and also in Indiana.
At the Herald Times, Hinnefeld worked on the education beat most often. The day he started was also the day he met Ann Kibler, now Director of Communications and Media Relations for IU's School of Journalism.
He was really good at dealing with sources for stories that might be difficult or contentious, and so he was always just very low-key.
Kibler transitioned from the Herald Times to IU a couple years before Hinnefeld did the same. During her first few years, Kibler asked Hinnefeld if he would be interested in starting the education blog to continue reporting. He agreed and became the main writer for In School Matters. Hinnefeld now works for IU Communications as a news and media specialist and has enjoyed the change.
In 2009, I went to Stockholm with Lynn Ostrom, who received the Nobel Prize. I wrote several news releases when the award was presented, a couple of talks that she gave. The coolest thing was being around her. She was great to work with. She didn't care for the publicity or the adulation, but she just really liked talking about her work, and she's just very...
While the change of pace from the articles to press releases gave him great opportunities, Hinnefeld and his coworkers wanted to report more. The team started newsroom blogs to inform the IU population of current events and topics that did not warrant a news release. As per his preference, Hinnefeld took on the Policy Briefings blog.
There was just a lot of things that was like, and it didn't make sense to do a full-blown news release about it, but it was sort of interesting, and it was worth doing something, and trying to help people spread the word.
These two blogs have allowed Hinnefeld to focus on what he cares most about. In particular, his blog In School Matters has been a microphone to inform others.
He's taken on more of an advocacy role, I think, now with this blog. When you're a newspaper reporter, normally you have to be fairly balanced. And Steve does still report thoroughly and gets all sides of an issue, but there's definitely a mission, I think, that has to do with exposing injustices in the system.
Hinnefeld decided to leave the HT in order to continue investigative journalism instead of creating news quick and fast. His blogs have kept him on target with his passions, allowing these topics that others would pass by to become a focus.